Hi guys, in this video I will show you how to send cookies from server. So before showing that, I wanted to let you know in which situations we need cookies. So for that, first of all, let's run our front end and back end files. So let's go to our root directory, which is my app. So we have created a folder with name my app, right, in the previous video. So inside this we have two folders. First, let's run our client by using this npm run the command. And now let's go to our folder my app, and then let's go to our server folder, and let's run our root file, which is server.js. So now our front end and back end is running. So now let's open localhost 5173. So this is our front end, right? So first of all, let me log in. So in the previous video, we have created an account with this email called hamantankaris@gmail.com, right? So let me log in with those details and then password. So if I click on login, it's showing okay. Here the I should be there. So after clicking on login, you can see we are getting redirected to home page. So now let me close this tab, and if I visit again, and after clicking on this text, you can see again it is asking us to enter our login details. So some users may get frustrated of this behavior because they don't want to enter the login details again and again. So to prevent that behavior, like if a user click on login button, they should be automatically redirected to home page by verifying their by verifying whether the user is authenticated or not. So let me show what I am telling. So now our server can able to send a cookie after user logged in. So let me show. So let's enter. Let me enter my email and then my password is 12346. So now if I click on login, it is redirecting me to the home page. So now if I close the browser and visit our localhost again, so if I click on this already have an account login, we can see it is automatically redirecting us to the home page without asking the login details again. So this is because of cookies with JWT token, which means JSON Web Token. So I'm going to show you how to send cookies with JWT token, so that we are going to redirect the user to home page based on whether the user is authenticated or not. So, so let's get started. So I want to send a cookie after user enters the detail from the login form, and clicking on this login button, I'm going to send a cookie to the browser. So after rather enters the details and clicks on this login button, we are going to let me show that login component. So this is our login component, right? So inside this, after rather enters the details and click on this login button, we are calling this handle submit function, and inside this handle submit function, we are calling this API endpoint called /login check. So let's go inside this. So slash login check. So here it is. After other submits their After other clicks on this login button, it will go inside this /login check API endpoint. So here, first we are checking whether the mail is already existing in our database or not, as well as we are checking whether the password is correct, matches with the password which is inside our database or not. So if both are true, we are going to send a cookie. So I'm going to create a variable called token, and inside this, so first let's create a folder inside our server folder. So let's create a folder with name cookie. Inside this I'm going to create another file with name create cookie.js. You can give whatever you want. So after that, inside So to generate a JWT token, first we have to install the JWT, which means JSON Web Token. So let's install JSON Web Token package. So we are going to install that inside our server folder. So let me stop the server and then install JSON Web Token. So after that it will install the package. As you can see, it is successful installed. Now let's run our server again by using mode 1. So now we can able to use JSON Web Token inside our server folder. So inside this cookie folder, I'm going to import JWT from JSON Web Token. So now I'm going to create a function with our file name, which is create cookie, and then here we have to export this because we're going to use this function inside our server.js file, so we have to export it. So now our create cookie function is exported. So now let's use that inside our server.js file. So I'm going to import that create cookie, import create cookie. Now we can able to use this function inside our server.js folder. So I'm going to send a cookie after user successfully logged in. So here I'm going to create a variable with name token, and I'm going to call this create cookie function. So inside this I'm going to pass the ID of the user. So for that, let me open my MongoDB Compass. So I have connected this MyApp users database, right? So inside you can see in our document we are having an ID which is unique for every document. So we are going to give this ID inside our create cookie function. So by giving this ID, our browser knows which ID is authenticated and which is not. So if this ID is authenticated, we are going to redirect the user to the login page after clicking on login without entering their login details. So for that purpose, we have to know the user's unique ID. Since our MongoDB will automatically generate unique ID for every document, we are going to pass this ID inside this create cookie function. So here our find mail is referencing this user class model, which is inside here. So our user class model is referencing our collection, which is this users. So inside this we are having these documents. So all these documents are referenced by this user class variable, and we are giving that user class inside here, and we are storing that inside this find mail variable. So find mail is now referencing our, let me close these tabs. So find mail is referencing our documents. So I can simply use find mail, and then we are going to select this property because id is unique, right? So different persons have same names, but this id will be unique even the name of the different persons is same. So for that purpose we have to use this unique id, findmail dot underscore id, and the second parameter will be a response. We are going to send the response with this id to the browser. So inside this, let's get this two parameters inside our create cookie function. So I'm going to name this as user ID and then response. So whatever user ID is there, that user ID will be stored inside this user ID parameter. So now, so now we are going to use a function called sign, which is inside our JWT package. So I'm going to use JWT dot sign. So this will take the first parameter as a payload. The payload means any data which is related to user. Since we are giving user ID here, which is related to our user, right? So this ID is related to user, right? So here we have to give that as user ID. So we are passing this ID inside our login check API endpoint here, findmail dot slash ID. So this is referencing this ID, and we are passing this argument inside our create cookie function, and then inside this parameter user ID. So this user ID is referencing our user ID's ID. So I'm giving that as a payload here, and the second parameter will be a secret key, as you can see. So we are going to generate a secret key by using a package called crypto. So let me install that. So by using this crypto package, we can get a random string, and we are going to give that random string as our JWT's secret key. So now crypto crypto package is successfully installed. Let's run our server again. So let's import this crypto package inside our server.js file. So let me import that here. Import crypto from crypto package. So I'm going to remove this soon because we just want to get a random string by using this package, and after getting that random string we are going to remove this package from here. So in crypto we have a function called random bytes. So inside this we have to pass a value in which bytes you want. So I'm going to give 64 bits, and then we have to convert that into a hexadecimal string which is readable by human. So by using this toString function, we are going to convert this bits into a hexadecimal string. So now let's store this operation inside a variable called, let's name that as a JWT secret key, and then let's console that. So the secret key will be inside our dot environment file, because this is a sensitive information. We shouldn't show this secret key to anyone. So now let me see the console. As you can see, we're getting a 64-bit random string because of this random bytes function. So now let's copy this. So now we don't need this because we now get a random string. So let's paste that inside our jwt.env file. So I'm going to name my variable as JWT secret key. So inside this, I'm going to give that random string. So now we have to export this in order to use in our application. So I'm going to export this by using export. So after that, inside our create cookie function, we have to give that by using process.env dot, and then this variable name JWT secret key. JWT secret key. And the third parameter will be optional, and it is an object. So here you can specify a property like expires inside this. You can give within how many days you want to automatically expire this token. So I'm going to give it as 15D, which means 15 days. So after 15 days, whatever token which is generated from this jwt.sign function, it will be expired after this particular time limit. So this JWT sign function is used to generate a random token based on our user related data as well as this secret key, which is this. So by using this key and this ID, it will generate a random token. So let's store this inside a variable called token. So now whatever random string which will be generated by the sign function, which will be stored inside our token. So let's console that here. So now let's check whether it's working or not. Let me log in. So before that, let me clear this and then run our file again. So here, as you can see, we are getting these messages. So here, after logged in, we will get a random token here because we are consoling a token which is generated by this JWT.sign function. Now let me log in with my details. Which is Hemant virus @gmail.com, and then the password is patience. So click on login. We are getting some internal server error. Payload to be a plain object. Okay, I think. Okay, guys, I think we have to specify this inside an object. This payload. Now let's check. Let me copy this. Let's refresh it. Pasting my mail and then password. Patience. So if I click on login, you can see we are getting redirected to homepage. So now if you see the console, you can see we are getting a token. So this token is generated by using this JWT.sign function, and then we are storing that inside our token variable, and here we are consoling that. That's why we are getting that token inside here. So we have to send this token to the client by using we have to send this token to client as a cookie by using. So here we can use this response, which is a parameter, as an object. So inside this we have a function called cookie. By using this cookie we can send a cookie to the user's browser. So here the first parameter will be name of the cookie. I'm going to name this as a JWT, and then the second parameter will be value of the cookie. So we are going to send the value which is, what is that? Let me log in again. So we are getting this token, right, and we have to send this token as a cookie here. So since we are storing this inside our token variable, we have to give here that token because we are storing that random string inside our token variable, right, and we are giving that here. And the third parameter will be an optional, and which is an object. Here we can specify some properties, like you can see max age in milliseconds converted to express. So by using this max age, we can set a lifetime to our cookie. So we have to give a value in numbers for this max age property, and the numbers we are specifying is in milliseconds. So if I give 1000, it is the max age of the cookie JWT is 1000 milliseconds. So 1000 millisecond is equal to 1 second, right? So after 1 second, this cookie will be expired. So we have to give some more lifetime for this. So I'm going to give some 90 lakhs. So after 90 lakhs milliseconds, this cookie with name JWT will be expired. So and then we can also specify some more properties like same site. So the value of this will be a boolean. I'm going to set that as a true. So by using this same site, we are telling that this cookie will be only sent through our website. So that's it. Now let's check whether our server is sending a cookie or not after user logged in. So to test our server, we can use a famous tool called Postman. So this Postman is used to test our server whether it is working as expected or not. So let me open Postman. So it will take some time to load. Just wait. So now it is successfully opened. Let me go to home, and then I'm going to use this workspace. So workspace is like a folder in File Explorer. So let me create a empty workspace and then click on next. Let's name it as my app, and then who can access only me, and then create. So after that it will create a empty workspace, and inside this you can create a new collection. So collection is like a subfolder in folder. So I'm going to set this as a login check, because we are going to check this route whether it is sending a cookie or not after user logged in. So inside this I'm going to add a request. I'm going to select this add request, because we are going to send a request to our route, which is this our login check route. So now inside this, since it is a post request, we have to select post request here, and then we have to enter our URL, which is http and then localhost, which is 127.0.0.1, and then our port number, which is this 4010, and then our route, which is this, not this login check. So let's enter that login check. So now inside this we are going to select this raw, and then here we have to specify our login details. So in the login component you can see we are having email and password, right? So we have to give those values inside our postman. So let me give that email. So here this should be inside inverted commas, because it is a JSON. So and then I'm going to type my email, samantinquiries@gmail.com, and then password, which is patience, right? So now after, if I click on send button, we will get a response here. So if I click on this send, as you can see, we are getting response as message user logged in, which is coming from this login check route, because we are sending a response with this message, right? Message user logged in. That's why we are seeing this message. As you can see, we are also having a cookie with name JWT, which is generated from this create cookie function. So inside this create cookie, you can see we are sending a cookie in the response by using response.cookie function, and the cookie of the name is JWT, and the value is token, which is this token, where it is generated from this sign function. So that's why we are seeing that cookie in this cookies section. So now our server can successfully able to send a cookie with this JWT token. So in the next video, I will show you how to use this in our front end. So that's it for this video, guys. Thank you for watching.